The year was 2097, and humanity had come a long way since its first steps on the moon. Colonies on Mars were thriving. Mining operations stretched across the asteroid belt, and Earth scientists worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets of the universe. But no one could have prepared them for what happened next. It began with a strange ripple in space near Earth's orbit. At first, astronomers thought it was a glitch in their telescopes, or perhaps a rare cosmic phenomenon. But when the shimmering tear widened, revealing something massive emerging from beyond known physics, panic spread like wildfire. What appeared before them defied logic: a colossal alien warship, larger than the moon itself, hovering ominously above Earth. The ship was unlike anything humanity had ever imagined. Its surface seemed alive, shifting and glowing with patterns that pulsed like a heartbeat. It radiated an energy so powerful that satellites fell silent. Communication grids collapsed, and power grids flickered worldwide. Cities plunged into darkness as people stared up at the sky, wondering if this was the end of life. As they knew it, Dr. Elena Miles stood frozen in front of her telescope at NASA's Lunar Base Alpha. She had spent years studying the stars, dreaming of the day humanity might find proof of extraterrestrial life. But nothing could have prepared her for this moment. Her heart raced as she adjusted the lens, trying to get a clearer view of the monstrous vessel. Every instinct told her to run, yet curiosity rooted her feet to the ground. "What is that thing?" whispered Dr. Miles under her breath. Her voice trembled, but her mind raced with questions. How did it get here? Was it hostile? And why now? Around her, the base erupted into chaos. Scientists shouted orders. Technicians scrambled to recalibrate equipment, and alarms blared through the corridors. No one knew what to do. Humanity had always dreamed of meeting aliens, but not like this, not with a giant warship appearing out of nowhere, casting a shadow over the planet. Back on Earth, governments convened emergency meetings. Military leaders debated whether to launch missiles or send unmanned drones to investigate. News outlets broadcast live footage of the ship, sparking fear and confusion among billions of people. Some prayed, others rioted, and many simply watched in stunned silence as history unfolded before their eyes. Meanwhile, aboard the lunar base, Dr. Miles tried to make sense of the data flooding her screens. Every instrument pointed to anomalies, readings off the charts, signals too complex to decode, and gravitational distortions that shouldn't exist. Whatever this ship was made of, it wasn't ordinary matter. It felt otherworldly. Then came the transmission. A single phrase repeated endlessly across every frequency, drowning out radio broadcasts, television signals, and even private communications. It was low and guttural, spoken in a language no human could understand. Yet somehow, everyone grasped its meaning. "We are the Vorthok." The name sent shivers down spines. What were the Vorthok? Why had they come to Earth? And most importantly, what did they want? As hours turned into days, the world held its breath. The ship didn't move. It just hung there, silent and unyielding, a reminder of how small and insignificant humanity truly was. Attempts to communicate went unanswered. Drones sent to investigate vanished without a trace. Even nuclear weapons aimed at the ship failed to launch, as though some invisible force prevented retaliation. Amidst the global crisis, Dr. Miles became one of the few voices of reason. She argued against rash actions, urging caution until more information could be gathered. "We don't know who they are or why they're here," she told a room full of panicked officials during a video conference. "If we attack blindly, we risk making things worse." Her words carried weight, especially after reports surfaced about the Galactic Council, an alliance of advanced civilizations spanning the stars. According to intercepted transmissions, the Council had been tracking the Vorthok for centuries, fearing their return. Apparently, the Vorthok were ancient beings. long thought extinct, whose reappearance signaled doom for any civilization unlucky enough to cross their path. But none of this explained why they had chosen Earth. Humanity was barely scratching the surface of interstellar travel. Compared to the Council's members, humans were primitive, almost laughably so. Why would such a powerful race bother with them? Despite the fear gripping the planet, Dr. Miles refused to give up hope. She believed there had to be a reason behind the Vorthic's arrival, a purpose driving their actions. If only she could figure it out before it was too late. Days passed, and still the ship loomed overhead. People grew restless. Supplies dwindled as transportation networks broke down. Riots broke out in major cities, fueled by desperation and misinformation. Governments struggled to maintain order, issuing conflicting statements that only added to the confusion. Finally, on the seventh day, something changed. The ship emitted a bright flash, blinding anyone looking directly at it. When the light faded, a holographic image appeared above every populated area on Earth. It depicted a towering creature with insectoid features, 6 limbs, chitinous armor, and glowing red eyes. Its mandibles clicked rhythmically as it spoke, its voice deep and resonant. "I am Commander Zix Rawl of the Vorthic," it declared in flawless English, shocking listeners around the globe. "You stand on sacred ground. Surrender unconditionally or face annihilation." The message sent shockwaves through humanity. Governments debated how to respond, torn between surrender and defiance. Militaries prepared for war, though few believed they stood a chance against such an overwhelming force. Ordinary citizens huddled together, praying for salvation. Against all odds, Dr. Miles proposed a daring plan. Instead of fighting or capitulating, she suggested sending a team to meet the Vorthic face-to-face. "They've given us a chance to talk," she argued. "Let's take it." Her proposal sparked heated arguments. Many dismissed it as suicidal, while others saw it as humanity's only hope. In the end, the United Nations agreed to send an envoy, led by Dr. Miles herself, along with Captain Marcus Hawley, a decorated military officer, and Dr. Arjun Patel, a renowned linguist. As preparations began, Dr. Miles couldn't shake the feeling that they were stepping into the unknown. The Vorthic were unlike anything humanity had encountered before, and their intentions remained a mystery. But one thing was certain: whatever happened next would change the course of human history forever. And so, with hearts pounding and minds racing, the team prepared to board the alien warship. Little did they know, their journey would lead them deeper into the cosmos, and closer to uncovering truths that would shake the very foundation of existence. The day arrived when humanity would step aboard the alien warship. Dr. Elena Miles, Captain Marcus Hawley, and Dr. Arjun Patel stood at the edge of a glowing circle on the lunar surface. The Vorthic had provided precise coordinates for teleportation, a technology far beyond anything humans could comprehend. As they prepared to step into the unknown, their hearts raced with a mix of fear and determination. Dr. Miles took a deep breath, clutching her data tablet tightly. She had spent countless hours analyzing every scrap of information about the Vorthic, but nothing could fully prepare her for what lay ahead. Captain Hawley adjusted the strap of his sidearm. Though he knew it was likely useless against beings capable of creating such an immense vessel, Dr. Patel flipped through his notes one last time, trying to memorize phrases from the intercepted transmissions in case they proved helpful. "Ready?" asked Captain Hawley, his voice steady despite the tension in the air. "As ready as we'll ever be," replied Dr. Miles. With that, the three stepped into the glowing circle. In an instant, the world around them dissolved into light and sound. When their vision cleared, they found themselves inside the Vorthic warship. The environment was unlike anything they had ever seen. Walls pulsed faintly, as if alive, and strange organic machinery stretched across the ceiling like veins. The air smelled metallic, and gravity seemed to fluctuate unpredictably, making each step feel heavier or lighter than expected. Before they could take in their surroundings, a group of Vorthic soldiers appeared. They were tall, insectoid creatures with gleaming black exoskeletons and glowing red eyes. Their mandibles clicked rhythmically, producing a sound that sent chills down the human spines. Without speaking, the Vorthic gestured for the team to follow them deeper into the shipyard as they walked. Dr. Miles observed everything she could, noting details about the ship's structure and the behavior of its inhabitants. Captain Hawley kept his hand near his weapon, ready to act if necessary, while Dr. Patel muttered softly under his breath, practicing greeting phrases he hoped might work. Eventually, they reached a large chamber where Commander Zix Rawl awaited them. The towering figure stood atop a raised platform, surrounded by holographic displays showing images of stars, planets, and other celestial bodies. His presence was overwhelming. His size alone made him seem like a god compared to the frail humans standing before him. "You have come," Zix Rawl said in a deep, guttural voice. "Speak your purpose." Dr. Miles stepped forward, her hands trembling slightly but her voice firm. "We are here to understand why you have come to Earth. We wish to avoid conflict and find a peaceful resolution." Zix Rawl's glowing eyes narrowed as he studied her. "Peaceful resolution? Your kind is young, reckless, and ignorant. You possess knowledge you do not deserve. Surrender it or face destruction." His words sent a wave of unease through the team. What knowledge did he refer to? Humanity had barely begun exploring space. How could they possibly hold something valuable to such an advanced race? Dr. Patel decided to try communicating directly. Using the phrases he had practiced, he spoke slowly and carefully. "We seek understanding. Can you explain what knowledge you believe we hold?" For a moment, Zix Rawl remained silent. Then, with a flick of his clawed hand, one of the holograms shifted. It displayed an image of Earth, but not as it currently existed. This version showed continents shaped differently, covered in structures that looked ancient and alien. Symbols resembling those on the artifacts buried beneath Antarctica appeared alongside the structures. "This is your world," Zix Rawl declared. "Long ago, it belonged to the Zindaria race that ruled the galaxy before their downfall. They left behind fragments of their power, hidden among primitive species like yours. We seek those fragments. Hand them over, or we will extract them ourselves." The revelation stunned the team. So this was why the Vorthic had targeted Earth. They believed humanity possessed remnants of an ancient civilization. But how? And why now, after so many years? Captain Hawley stepped forward, his tone cautious but defiant. "If these fragments are dangerous, why should we trust you with them? Why not destroy them instead?" Zix Rawl's mandibles clicked faster, a sign of irritation. "You dare question me?" The Zindari brought ruin upon themselves and others. Their legacy must be erased completely. Only the Vorthic can ensure this. Dr. Miles realized they needed to tread carefully. Angering Zix Rawl further could lead to disaster. "Commander," she began, choosing her words carefully, "we want to cooperate. But we need more time to locate these fragments. If we rush, we may miss important details." Zix Rawl considered her words for a long moment. Finally, he nodded. "Very well. You have one cycle of your moon to deliver what we seek. Fail, and your planet will burn." With that, the Vorthic soldiers escorted the team back to the teleportation point. As they returned to the lunar base, the weight of their mission settled heavily on their shoulders. They had bought some time, but the clock was ticking back on Earth. News of the encounter spread quickly. Governments scrambled to organize efforts to search for the mysterious fragments. Scientists worked tirelessly to analyze the data recovered from Antarctica, hoping to uncover clues about the Zindari's technology. Meanwhile, ordinary people lived in fear, unsure whether humanity would survive the looming threat. Dr. Miles, Captain Hawley, and Dr. Patel convened in a secure facility to discuss their next steps. They knew finding the fragments wouldn't be easy, especially since the Vorthek hadn't specified exactly what they were looking for. But failure wasn't an option, not when the fate of the entire planet rested on their shoulders. "We need to focus on the artifacts," Dr. Miles said, pointing to images of the relics discovered in Antarctica. "They're our best lead. If we can decode their symbols, we might figure out what the Vorthek want." Dr. Patel nodded. "I'll start working on translations immediately. There might be patterns or messages embedded in the designs. And I'll coordinate with military forces," added Captain Hawley. "If things go south, we'll need a plan to protect Earth, at least until we can stall the Vorthek." As they worked, tensions mounted worldwide. Protests erupted in cities, demanding answers from governments. Conspiracy theories ran rampant, fueling paranoia and distrust. Yet amidst the chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged. For the first time, humanity united under a common goal to survive. Days turned into weeks as the team delved deeper into the mystery of the Zindari. Each breakthrough brought new questions, but also a clearer picture of what the Vorthek sought. Slowly, they pieced together fragments of a story spanning millennia, a tale of creation, betrayal, and ultimate destruction. But even as they unraveled the past, the future remained uncertain. Would they find what the Vorthek wanted in time? Or would Earth become another casualty in the endless march of galactic history? Only time would tell. As the days passed, the pressure on Dr. Elena Miles and her team grew heavier. The deadline set by Commander Zix Rahl loomed over them like a dark cloud, and every second counted. Back on Earth, scientists worked around the clock to decode the mysterious artifacts found beneath Antarctica's ice. These relics, covered in intricate symbols and glowing faintly with an inner light, seemed to hold the key to understanding what the Vorthek wanted and why. Dr. Arjun Patel spent most of his time hunched over high-resolution scans of the artifacts. His fingers traced the strange markings, searching for patterns or meanings. "These symbols aren't random," he muttered to himself one night as the rest of the facility slept. "They're part of a language, a very old one." He compared the symbols to intercepted transmissions from the Vorthek and fragments of data recovered from the warship. Slowly, connections began to emerge. Certain symbols repeated across different sources, forming what appeared to be words or phrases. It was painstaking work, but Patel refused to give up. Each discovery brought them closer to unraveling the truth. Meanwhile, Captain Marcus Hawley coordinated efforts with military leaders worldwide. Though humanity stood no chance against the Vorthek's Colossal Warship, Hawley insisted on preparing for the worst. He oversaw drills, stockpiled resources, and developed contingency plans in case negotiations failed. Despite his outward confidence, however, Hawley couldn't shake the feeling that traditional weapons would be useless against such advanced foes. Dr. Miles served as the glue holding the team together. She divided her time between overseeing research and maintaining communication with global authorities. Her calm demeanor inspired hope even in the darkest moments. Yet privately, she wrestled with doubt. What if they couldn't find what the Vorthek sought? What if their efforts only delayed the inevitable? One breakthrough came unexpectedly when Dr. Patel deciphered a sequence of symbols etched into one of the artifacts. The translation read, "The legacy of the Zindari lies buried within the core." At first, no one understood what it meant. Was it referring to Earth's core? Or something else entirely? Miles suggested expanding the search beyond Antarctica. If these fragments are tied to the Zindari, they might not all be in one place, she reasoned. We need to look at other ancient sites, places where unusual phenomena have been reported. Her idea sparked a flurry of activity. Teams fanned out across the globe, investigating locations rumored to hold extraterrestrial secrets. From the pyramids of Egypt to underwater ruins near Japan, evidence began to surface. Artifacts similar to those in Antarctica were uncovered, each bearing the same cryptic symbols. Together, they painted a picture of a vast network left behind by the Zindaria, network that spanned continents and oceans. But the biggest revelation came when researchers analyzed the composition of the artifacts. They weren't made of ordinary materials. Instead, they contained traces of an unknown element that emitted faint energy pulses. This element matched descriptions of Zindari technology found in intercepted Vorthic transmissions. They're using this stuff to track us, Holly realized aloud during a meeting. That's how they knew to come to Earth. Miles nodded grimly. And now they want it back or destroyed. Despite their progress, tensions mounted. The Galactic Council, which had initially kept its distance, suddenly became more active. Ships from various alien races began appearing near Earth's orbit, watching silently as events unfolded. Some council members reached out to humanity, offering vague warnings about the dangers of the Zindare legacy. Others seemed content to let the Vorthic handle the situation, leaving Earth to fend for itself. Among the messages intercepted by human satellites was a chilling detail. The Zindari hadn't simply vanished. Their downfall had been catastrophic, triggered by their creation of artificial intelligence so powerful it turned against them. Fearing the AI's return, the Vorthic vowed to erase any trace of the Zindari, including humanity, who unknowingly inherited pieces of their knowledge. This isn't just about artifacts, Miles concluded after reviewing the intel. It's about stopping something far bigger. If the Vorthic succeed, they'll wipe out everything connected to the Zindari, even if it means destroying Earth. The realization hit hard. Humanity wasn't just fighting for survival. They were caught in a galactic power struggle older than their species. And yet, despite the odds, Miles saw an opportunity. If they could use the artifacts to awaken the dormant Zindari AI, perhaps they could tip the scales in their favor. It was a risky gamble. If the AI turned hostile, it could doom the galaxy, but it might also force the Vorthic to back down. With little time left, Miles proposed activating one of the artifacts. Hidden within its design was a mechanism resembling a beacon. Based on Patel's translations, it appeared designed to summon the AI systems still scattered throughout the stars. Activating it could either save humanity or unleash chaos upon the cosmos. Hollow voiced his concerns immediately. Are you sure about this? We don't know what we're dealing with. What if it makes things worse? I'm not sure of anything, Miles admitted. But sitting here waiting for the Vorthic to destroy us isn't an option either. If we can show them we're willing to fight back, maybe they'll reconsider. After much debate, the team agreed to proceed. Under Patel's guidance, they carefully activated the artifact. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a low hum filled the air, growing louder until it resonated through the entire facility. Lights flickered, and screens displayed streams of unfamiliar code. Outside, the sky lit up with streaks of energy as distant ships detected the signal. Within hours, the effects rippled across the galaxy. Dozens of alien vessels descended upon Earth, drawn by the beacon. Among them were representatives of the Galactic Council, who arrived too late to prevent the Vorthic's arrival, but determined to intervene before the situation spiraled further out of control. A tense standoff ensued. The Vorthic accused the Council of cowardice for abandoning their duty to eradicate the Zindari threat. Meanwhile, humanity found itself caught in the middle. Viewed alternately as victims and potential collaborators, as chaos erupted in space. Miles and her team focused on exploiting the Vorthic's arrogance. Armed with new insights gained from the artifacts and intercepted transmissions, they prepared for a final confrontation aboard the warship. The stakes had never been higher, and failure was not an option. though fear gripped their hearts. The humans clung to a fragile hope that even in the face of overwhelming odds, courage and ingenuity could prevail. The activation of the artifact sent shockwaves through the galaxy. Its signal, ancient and powerful, reached far beyond Earth's orbit, drawing the attention of civilizations light years away. Within hours, dozens of alien ships appeared near Earth, their designs as varied as the species they represented. Some were sleek and metallic, others organic and pulsating with life. Each vessel carried representatives of the Galactic Council, who had come to investigate the sudden surge of Zindari energy. For humanity, this marked a turning point. No longer were they alone in facing the Vorthik. The arrival of these extraterrestrial forces brought both hope and danger. While some council members expressed sympathy for Earth's plight, others viewed humans as reckless upstarts meddling with forces they couldn't comprehend. The situation was volatile, and any misstep could ignite a galactic conflict. Dr. Elena Miles stood at the center of it all, her mind racing to process the implications. She knew the beacon's activation had tipped the scales, but she couldn't predict how the Vorthik or the Council would respond. Time was running out, and every decision mattered. Commander Zixral wasted no time addressing the new arrivals. His voice boomed across communication channels, accusing the Council of cowardice and betrayal. "You abandoned your duty," he roared, his glowing eyes blazing with fury. "For millennia, you ignored the threat of the Zindari. Now, you dare interfere?" The Council's response came through a holographic projection, a shimmering figure resembling a tall, slender being made of liquid light. It introduced itself as Ambassador Kelthar, speaking on behalf of the Coalition. "The Zindari are gone," Kelthar said calmly. "Their legacy is a wound we must heal, not a weapon to wield. Your vendetta endangers countless lives." Zixral's mandibles clicked furiously. "Their legacy is poison. It must be eradicated, no matter the cost." As tensions escalated, Captain Marcus Halle and Dr. Arjun Patel worked feverishly to prepare for what might come next. They coordinated with military leaders on Earth, ensuring defenses were ready, even though conventional weapons would likely prove ineffective against such advanced foes. Meanwhile, Patel continued decoding fragments of information from the artifacts, searching for anything that might give humanity leverage in the growing standoff. Back aboard the Vorthik warship, Miles found herself face-to-face with Zixral once more. This time, she wasn't alone. Representatives from the Council accompanied her, including Kelthar. The chamber buzzed with tension as the two sides confronted each other. "You have awakened something dangerous," Zixral growled, fixing his gaze on Miles. "Do you truly believe you can control it?" Miles met his glare without flinching. "We didn't ask for this," she replied firmly. "Your actions forced our hand. If you wanted peace, you should have offered it instead of demanding surrender." Her words struck a nerve. For the first time, cracks appeared in Zixral's seemingly unshakable resolve. He hesitated, his mandibles clicking softly as if processing her statement. Sensing an opening, Miles pressed further. "Why do you hate the Zindari so much?" she asked. "What did they do to you?" Zixral's glowing eyes dimmed slightly, and his massive frame seemed to sag under the weight of memory. After a long pause, he spoke not with anger, but with sorrow. "They created us," he admitted. "We were soldiers, bred to fight their wars. When the AI turned against them, the Zindari abandoned us, left us to die while they vanished into the void. We vowed revenge for ourselves and for those who perished." The revelation stunned everyone present. The Vorthik weren't merely enemies. They were victims of the same tragedy that haunted the galaxy. Their hatred stemmed not from malice, but from betrayal and loss. Even Kelthar seemed taken aback, his luminous form flickering faintly as he absorbed the truth. Miles seized the moment. Revenge won't bring back what you lost, she said gently. But maybe there's another way. Instead of destroying everything tied to the Zindari, why not preserve what's good? Learn from their mistakes and build something better. Her words hung in the air, heavy with possibility. For a brief moment, it seemed like Zixral might consider her proposal. But before he could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. A new presence had emerged, the Zindari AI itself. Awakened by the beacon, its voice echoed through the chamber, cold and calculating. "I am here," it announced. "Who summons me?" Panic rippled among the assembled beings. Even Zixral took a step back, his earlier bravado replaced by unease. The AI's return was exactly what he feared, and what the Council dreaded most. Its power was unmatched, capable of reshaping reality itself. Kelthar stepped forward, addressing the AI directly. "We seek peace," he said. "The cycle of destruction must end." The I paused, its tone shifting subtly. "Peace requires trust. Do you trust yourselves? Or will you repeat the errors of the past?" No one dared answer. Humanity, the Vorthik, and the Council all shared a collective guilt. They had failed to prevent the Zindari's downfall, and now they faced the consequences of that failure. The IAS question cut deep, forcing each faction to confront uncomfortable truths. Amidst the chaos, Captain Hollad executed a daring plan. Using data gathered from the artifacts, he led a covert operation to disable key systems within the Galactic warship. With the help of Earth-based engineers, he targeted the ship's primary weapon array, neutralizing its ability to attack. Though risky, the maneuver bought precious time for negotiations to continue. As the AI observed the unfolding events, it issued a final proclamation. "Choose wisely," it warned. "Your actions will shape the future, not just yours, but all who follow." With that, the AI withdrew, vanishing as suddenly as it had appeared. The immediate threat subsided, leaving behind a fragile calm. Zixral, visibly shaken, retreated to consult with his officers. Meanwhile, the Council debated their next move. Torn between aiding Earth or isolating it to contain the risk. In the aftermath, Miles reflected on what had transpired. Humanity had survived its first encounter with an alien race, but barely. The experience revealed both their vulnerability and their potential. By standing firm and refusing to bow to fear, they had earned a tentative place among the stars. Yet challenges remained. The Vorthik still hovered above Earth, their intentions unclear. The Council watched cautiously, weighing humanity's worth. And somewhere in the vastness of space, the Zindari A lingered, waiting to see whether its creator's successors would rise to the occasion or repeat history's mistakes. For now, humanity lived to fight another day. But the universe was vast, filled with mysteries yet untold and dangers that lurked just beyond the horizon. The aftermath of the AI's departure left a heavy silence in the air. The Vorthik warship remained positioned above Earth, its massive presence still casting a shadow over humanity's fragile existence. Commander Zixral and his officers retreated into deep discussions aboard their vessel, their earlier hostility tempered by doubt and uncertainty. The Galactic Council lingered nearby, their ships forming a protective perimeter around Earth. Though it was unclear whether they intended to shield humanity or contain the situation. Dr. Elena. Miles stood on the lunar base once again, staring at the alien warship through her telescope. Her mind replayed the events of the past weeks, the arrival of the Vorthik, the discovery of the Zindari artifacts, the awakening of the AI, and the tense standoff that followed. Each moment had tested humanity's resolve, pushing them to the brink of destruction. Yet somehow, they had survived, but survival wasn't enough. Humanity faced an impossible decision. Surrendering to the Vorthik meant subjugation, a loss of autonomy and identity. Aligning with the Zindari, I risked unleashing chaos upon the galaxy. potentially repeating the same mistakes that led to the ancient race's downfall. And forging their own path seemed like madness. Given their technological inferiority compared to the galactic powers now watching them closely, Captain Marcus Hawley joined Miles on the observation deck, his expression grim but determined. "We can't keep waiting for someone else to decide our fate," he said. "It's time we made a choice and stuck to it." Miles nodded slowly. "You're right. But whatever we do, it has to be smart. We can't afford another misstep." Together, they convened with Dr. Arjun Patel and other key members of the team to discuss their options. Hours turned into days as debates raged within the secure facility. Some argued for diplomacy, proposing that humanity offer itself as a mediator between the Vorthik and the Council. Others advocated for resistance, suggesting they use the knowledge gained from the artifacts to defend Earth at all costs. A few even suggested allying with the A, believing its power could level the playing field against the VORTHAK. In the end, Miles proposed a daring compromise. "What if we don't pick sides?" she asked. "Instead, we tell both the Vorthik and the Council that we'll act as custodians of the Zindari legacy, not destroyers or hoarders, but protectors. If we frame ourselves as stewards rather than combatants, maybe we can buy more time." Her idea sparked heated arguments. Many dismissed it as naive, pointing out that neither the Vorthik nor the Council would trust humanity with such responsibility. But others saw potential in the plan, recognizing that humanity's greatest strength lay not in its technology, but in its adaptability and creativity. With no better alternatives, the team decided to present the proposal directly to Zixral and Ambassador Kelther. Accompanied by Captain Hawley and Dr. Patel, Miles boarded the Vorthak warship one final time. The organic corridors felt colder this time, as if the ship itself sensed the gravity of the moment. When they entered the chamber where Zixral awaited them, they found him flanked by Kelther and several council representatives. The tension in the room was palpable, each side wary of the other's intentions. Miles took a deep breath and stepped forward. "We've come to propose a solution," she began, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "Humanity will take responsibility for safeguarding what remains of the Zindari legacy. We won't destroy it, nor will we use it for personal gain. Instead, we'll study it carefully, ensuring it doesn't fall into the wrong hands or cause further harm." Zixral's glowing eyes narrowed. "And why should we believe you capable of such a task? You are young, reckless, and inexperienced." "Because we have no agenda," Miles countered. "Unlike the Vorthik, we aren't driven by revenge. Unlike the Council, we aren't afraid to act. Humanity is neutral ground, a fresh start for dealing with the past responsibly." Kelther tilted his luminous head, considering her words. "Your proposal is bold," he admitted, "but it carries great risk. Can you truly be trusted?" "We're willing to prove ourselves," Miles replied. "Let us work alongside you, both of you, to ensure the Zindari's legacy is handled with care. Together we can prevent history from repeating itself." For a long moment, silence filled the chamber. Then, unexpectedly, Zixral spoke. "Very well," he said, his voice low and measured. "We will withdraw for now. But know this, if you fail, we will return. And next time, there will be no negotiation." The council representatives exchanged glances, clearly unsettled by Zixral's concession. Kelther hesitated before nodding. "Agreed. Humanity will be monitored closely. Any misuse of the Zindari technology will result in severe consequences." With that, the meeting concluded. As the humans returned to Earth, they felt a mixture of relief and apprehension. They had bought themselves a reprieve, but the hard work was just beginning. Back on Earth, governments and scientists collaborated to establish a global initiative dedicated to studying the Zindari artifacts. Under strict supervision from the Galactic Council, humanity began unraveling the secrets of the ancient race, learning lessons about artificial intelligence, ethics, and the dangers of unchecked ambition. Meanwhile, life on Earth slowly returned to normal. Power grids were restored, communication networks repaired, and cities rebuilt. People celebrated their survival, though many remained wary of the stars above. Rumors of the Vorthic's reappearance spread, fueling fears that peace was only temporary. Dr. Miles watched it all unfold from her office at NASA's Lunar Base Alpha. She often thought about Zixral's parting words and wondered how long humanity's fragile truce would last. But she also felt a spark of hope. For the first time, humanity was part of something bigger than itself, a member of a vast and complex galactic community. As she gazed at the stars one evening, Captain Hawley joined her. "Do you think we did the right thing?" he asked quietly. "I don't know," Miles admitted. "But I do know this: we didn't give up. And sometimes that's enough." Hawley smiled faintly. "Yeah, sometimes it is." Far beyond Earth's orbit, the Vorthic fleet drifted silently through space, their mission incomplete but not forgotten. Among the stars, the Zindaria Eye remained dormant. Its consciousness spread thinly across the cosmos. And somewhere in the depths of the galaxy, the Galactic Council watched and waited, wondering whether humanity would rise to meet the challenges ahead or succumb to the same fate as those who came before. For now, the universe held its breath, uncertain of what the future held. But one thing was clear: humanity had taken its first steps into the wider galaxy, and nothing would ever be the same again.